Hello everyone, this is Demon Phoenix, continuing with the next episode of this Deathmatch Low Level New Game Plus Piercing Cold walkthrough. Now, this is going to be a slightly shorter episode. I have to give fair warning that these episodes have been spaced out a little more. I have had a little less time recently. I got some stuff that we need to be dealing with, which is not really allowing me the time to do these episodes, so just fair warning for the rest of this playthrough. Maybe a little more sporadic. I do apologise for that. This episode just going to be a bit of a shorter one, even though I don't really need these Scoia'tael cards. I'm just going to do what we call the quest for a dangerous game. I actually went and played the Noble in Visima and had played Zoltan a few times already just for fun, but this is just picking back up the actual streaming again, so we'll see how we do. Okay, interesting deck. Got a ton of these, 4 of those, which is always fun. And then just swapped one of those cards for the other, so again, quite interesting. Now, because I've only got the Mysterious Elf, unless I get another one of these cards to use for spy cards to use for Relentless, which I haven't got there, we're going to struggle a little bit. So, well, not struggle necessarily, but we'll have to do things a little differently. So we'll just use this for now, and then we'll bait out some cards. So that's going to be an easy win. That's a good one. Right, so now here, because I've got so many decoys and everything else, so I've got these, I can essentially play all 4 of these cards and then play them all again. I'll actually just play 3, because then I could probably play this 10 strength one again in the next round, so we'll just do that. And I can always take one of their cards after this as well. So this is the beauty of these cards. So these cards obviously add up to 2, and the opponent can't have any spies because they're not that type of deck, so I don't have anything that I can decoy these with. But I can use these and then decoy them again, so I essentially have 4 more cards to play. And so if it's these 4 cards, then I can get another 48 score, so I'll get 27 score this round, and then get that again in the next round, which is really interesting. So I can either play these again, put my score to 48 and make them waste a bunch of cards, or I can just play these 3 and the 10 strength Zerrikanian one in the next round. So I'll play these for 48 first, and that'll make them either waste a bunch of cards or be able to do that. So they're going to scorch those, and now they'll probably just pass that round. Now I could use Relentless this round, or what I more likely want to do is just use their own Villain Tretameth against them, which is what I will actually do. So let's do that. Unless they have a Biting Frost, I'll win this pretty easily. They'll probably use Villain Tretameth there, but then again that stops them from being able to scorch it back later. So I'll take one from their own deck, and I'll take this one just in case they do use Biting Frost or whatever. So we'll be able to see what they've got next. Going to double that up, which is weird because that must mean that they have no agile cards left or anything, because the Scoia'tael deck doesn't have any siege cards apart from Shrew. Alright, so they're going to top out at 21 there, sorry, and this is where the power of the Nilfgaard deck, and particularly these decoys, comes into play. So we're just going to play all these. We win. And then just to add insult to serious injury, it's going to play all these again. So this is how you can use the Nilfgaard deck, and that's why I love it. There's always tactics you can use. So even though I drew none of my spies there apart from Mysterious Elf, so I wasn't able to Relentless it back, I was still able to, you know, work around it and do things like that. So always good fun doing it that way. So tons of fun. Just going to check that these sounds coming through. I love how he says I've got an amateurish deck there, where actually I've got only a perfect Nilfgaard deck in this playthrough. It's quite funny. But yeah, let's just go, and you can get the card from Vernon Roach as well. If you're wanting to use a Scoia'tael deck at any point, I've done playthroughs with the Scoia'tael deck, and it's good because it's like it's a weaker deck, but it's still quite fun. And the reason that's a good thing to do is, let's just have a look here. You know what I need to do actually? I can't remember if this is one of the ones where you have to do a fist fight against multiple people, which if it is, I absolutely hate. Let's have a look. Griffin Decoction. Which ones are going to be good if I have to do this stupid thing here? Just trying to think which ones we could use. Warthog Decoction. Because sometimes the decoctions will stay active when you're doing this. So it's quite fun. I wonder if Wyvern Decoction works in fistfights. Always new stuff you can try, so let's have a look. Anyway, I'll just put a few of these on. I can always meditate afterwards and just go back to using my potions, because you can't use potions in a fist fight as a rule. Very occasionally, some fist fights will let you use signs if they're against multiple enemies, but I think for some bizarre reason this is one of the fights that won't, and it's in close quarters. I really hate this fight, so it's very irritating if it's the one I'm thinking of. There are a couple of quests in Nilfgaard that are similar, where you have fist fights inside against multiple people. I can't remember which are which, so we're just going to try this one. It might be a dangerous game, but I honestly can't remember. I know you have to fight some dudes, but I can't remember what they're actually, if they're actually a fist fight, or if you can use your sword and signs against them. So let's get Gwent out first. Let's see what's going on. Oh good, you can use your sign. Oh, that's alright then. Well, that's no problem at all then. Somehow got that guy to sit down, which is quite funny. And then with the burning and everything else, very easy. Oh good. Oh, it's not that fight that I feared then. Alright, so that's okay, all sorted. I can't remember which one's the fist fight. It's something annoying anyway. There's one very annoying one somewhere. But anyway, got that all sorted. Got the Asingrim's card. That is a really wicked card actually, but like you have to do the whole quest. You can either just keep it now, so do the first part of the quest and then keep it, or you can do the whole quest and then choose to take all 3 cards at the end of it, which is probably the better way to go about it. So, right. Just going to get rid of those decoctions, so I don't need those any longer. Any other fights we have in the future, we'll just be able to use the potions, because this is a delayed recovery playthrough. So it's all potion toxicity, and we don't really need any of the rest of it. So I've decided that in this playthrough I'm going to completely ignore Cabaret. One, because I can't remember what happens when you do completely ignore Cabaret. And the other, because I really don't like doing Cabaret. It's one of my least favourite quests. I know a lot of people really like it, and there's the whole thing of tracking down the real killer and stuff like that, but I just find it a really long, fetchy, just run and fetch quest, basically, with like a cool thing at the end of it. But if you already know the cool thing at the end of it, and, you know, I'm not that fussed about it, so I'm not bother. Right, so return to Zoltan. Why am I returning to Zoltan? I just missed something there. Right. Alright. Alright. Right, so we're going to go and get these. Alright, that's all that stuff. Right, so we're just going to try and get those cards. Yeah. Now, which do we want first? I'll get the John Natalis card first. It's a good one to have if it's another of the 10th strength hero cards. If you've got the if you're using the Northern Realms deck, it's quite a good one. Going to be a lot of running around in this quest actually, so I'm just going to use the werewolf decoction purely for convenience. Let's have a look. Now there are a ton of ways you can deal with this guy. You can either try and I think you can fight them first, but then the guy that you're trying to get the card from actually dies, or you can play him at Gwent, which I will be doing this playthrough, which avoids the conflict entirely. One thing you can do is they're in that corner, right? And what you can actually do is you can throw a Northern Wind Bomb. If you throw a Northern Wind Bomb, it freezes both of the enemies. You can kill them. The guy who you're trying to rescue survives afterwards, and then you can just get the card from him without having to play Gwent. But I love Gwent, so we're going to play him at Gwent instead. Yeah, I did that on my no armor playthrough through the Northern Wind Bomb, so if you could find whatever the heck episode that is in that massive lengthy 30 episode playthrough, we can do it like this. So let's see what we've got. Right, so we need to beat this guy first. Can't remember what deck he's got or anything like that. Let's have a look. I still don't have the Geralt card yet, so the deck's not fully complete. Didn't get any of my spies, which is a bit unfortunate. But I've got a Scorch, so we'll be able to use that. And again, we've got 4 of these decoys, so that'll be very useful. Now what I can do is try and bait them into using better cards, and then get rid of them afterwards. So instead of using the decoy, I'm just going to use this one instead. Scorch that. Play this one. And win there. So I can play this. I've got an impenetrable fog, so I don't want to be really using this one. So to use another turn, I'm just going to take a card from their deck. See what they play next. And I can just force them to play a few extra cards. So they'll have to waste another card here because obviously they can't risk a tie. And that Torrential Rain means that I can use this 10 strength card as well. Now that's interesting because they use a spy card, but that's actually going to let me use that spy card instead. So depending on what they've got, it looks like they're not even going to be able to get enough points to beat me. So the guy has a really weak deck, so extremely weak deck. And I would have very, very easily been able to win there. So. And you have to fight him anyway. What a douchebag. Oh well, never mind. What a dumbass. Burn the hell out of that guy. Burn him again. This is the amazing thing about the Griffin armor and the Griffin Skull techniques is you can burn people with that high sign intensity, and then their stamina regeneration is so quick that by the time they finish burning... Yeah, damn right you give me that card. Anyway, I just saved your life. Anyway, and then by as I was saying, by the time they've finished burning, your stamina's already regenerated, so you can just set them to burning again. As long as you're not holding guard, which slows your stamina regeneration, you should have tons of time to be able to do it. Quick side note, a lot of this stuff's good to loot here. It is random, like you don't always get meteorite ingots, but a good chunk of my playthroughs I've got really good stuff. Like you see there, I've got a bunch of silver and meteorite ingots. So if you're in a regular playthrough and you're looking to, like, you know, craft some of the armors and things, always a good idea to loot all the stuff in the Golden Sturgeon pub here. There's a ton of good stuff. Some things upstairs as well. I think I might have looted these already on a previous visit when I went to Skellige very early in the game. So yeah, a ton of good stuff to do there. Did I ever play this guy at Gwent? I wonder. Probably, but maybe not. Let's find out. Have I played this guy? I don't know. Maybe not. Right, so what have we got here? Now this time we've got a superb draw there. So we've got 3 of these and both of the young emissaries, and 2 of these that will be able to relentless, and a bunch of medics as well. So barring any disasters with a biting frost or anything like that, we should be fine. And obviously there's all the stuff that we'll get from actually using these 2 as well. So Torrential Rain, not going to make any difference. Got Yennefer for another medic there, so that's really cool. And let's see, now we've got Villain Tretameth there too, which is extremely useful. And if I wanted, I could instead use the decoys for all this stuff, so we'll be able to use a few of these. Let's see how we want to play this. So they're going to use that decoy there. I'm just going to play this spy back again, even though they have got Dandelion. I can always punt on this round and just win it again afterwards, so should be fine. And there's always the chance that I get the Biting Frost or the Scorch like that, which is extremely useful. So let's see. They've got Mysterious Elf as well, so they're matching me sort of card for card here at the minute. But again, I'll be able to use Relentless on the next round. Now I have a ton of medics, as I already mentioned, so I'm just going to put the pressure on a little bit by making sure that they have to use more cards and they're not comfortable enough to just leave that. Now with them playing that one as well and me not having the Biting Frost, it's going to be very difficult for me to actually win this round. So instead, I'll just outlast them on cards. So I scorch this one because it's their highest value card. And then I was going to relentless it and play it back, but I can actually save myself some turns by doing it a different way instead. So I can now take their lower value spy card. Take that one from them. And then I can play a couple more of these instead. See what they come up with. So the easiest way for me to go about that is just to scorch that one. And win that. That should be okay here. See what cards they've got left. Now they may well have a medic, but there's always a chance that I use this one and I get either some more of my own spies or some decoys, and I'll be able to use those, anything like that. I get the biting frost, but right here it's not quite as useful as it would have been. We'll see. And that was a mistake. Now I can play Villain Tretameth, take off another 12 from their score, and then still be alright for playing the rest afterwards. Easy win, as per usual. There are a bunch of different ways I could have gone about that as well. I could have just, you know, brute forced it after they didn't have the biting frost at the end. So now what have we got? So we can play both of these. Not that we need to, but this is just an example of how you would do it if you were doing it normally. And then we can't play both of those, so we'll just play one of them. As you can see, even without Villain Tretameth, I could have left that 12 score on their side instead of playing Vil. And I could have just played these, and both of these would have been 10 score, so 20 in total. I still would have won either way. I left off playing most of the Gwent people because I wanted to come back when I did have this full Nilfgaard deck, just to have as much use of that as possible, which was fun. So now I've just got to grab all this stuff and do this next part, and then we'll just finish off the quest. There's another one that has like a ton of fun dialogue and stuff in it, but I'm not going to be doing it this quest. I'm just skipping through because this is a playthrough and it's more focused on just the gameplay. Okay. Alright. Speak to this guy, skip through all this. I don't think it matters what options you choose like this, so just skip through all this stuff, blah blah blah, da da. Oh, I love it. Anyway, you got all this stuff. Right, now you can have more of like conversation and things there, but just want to grab the Fringilla card and off we go. So not a big deal. A bunch of other stuff you can grab here as well. Where's the thing? Can't remember where the actual key is. It's around here somewhere. Over here? Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Use the triangular key. Super. Classic. Right, so you've got the card, which is what you actually want. That that card there's the card that you actually want. That what's it called? I'll take those just because we can sell those as well. Interesting Nilfgaardian armor, which looks absolutely nothing like the armor in the series, but never mind. Picture of Emir looking like well, flattering version of a douchebag instead of just a regular Emperor douchebag. Is Stefan Skellen one of the spy cards? I get the feeling I say this every playthrough and then always forget to check. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's that guy. So he was hanged apparently, probably for being too high a score on his spy card, let's be honest. Still awesome card. I love any spy cards, they're amazing. That's why I always have a Biting Frost in the deck. Like, you know, normally you find better use for that against either Scotty Tail or mainly a monsters deck if you're fighting a monsters deck or anything like that. But yeah, it depends on, you know, the situation. But I find it's always a good idea to have just the one Biting Frost card in Nilfgaard deck, because the vast majority of the time you're going to get at least one spy. And then after you get the spy, let's get this sorted. Let's kill these guys. Now they have axes, so you can't really knock them over, but you can still do a bit of damage there with Piercing Cold, and you can freeze them in place. But against enemies that can't be knocked over, if there are humanoid enemies who can still be burnt, you are probably better off burning them a lot of the time. That just takes care of that. Right, so that's them taken care of. And then we just got to go and sell these cards. Then you get double crossed, which is no good, but then you can do it anyway, so alright. Alright, let's go. After you've done this quest, you can choose to either take a little bit of money or to take the cards. If you won't collect them all, you're better off taking the cards, because otherwise you might forget to get them in the later quest. You can loot them from the guard's body when you're doing a much later quest when you return to Nilfgaard with Yennefer. I've never done it that way. I always just take the cards, because 350 crowns is of little consequence when you reach this level, I normally find. Especially on New Game Plus, obviously it doesn't matter in the slightest, but yeah. Anyway. So we're just going to go through this. Oh no, everybody's dead. Ah! Be wee. Give me the cards, asshole. Oh no, we're giving them the cards. Take the cards. Then give me the cards. I don't know. Something to do with cards. Something dark cards. I don't know. Right, let's do this. So. He's right, you know. It's good. I mean, you know, I could just like... Well, he's got short legs, so he'd be no good chasing anybody anyway, I guess, but... Anyway. You gonna let me actually climb this ladder? That's frustrating. I don't think this guy can actually get away from you, if I remember. I don't really remember, but let's see. So, get away from this guy. Chase this guy down. Wonder if you can actually stop him going down. No, that's irritating. Yeah, I didn't think you could actually catch him. So as soon as he goes through this door, he like instantly teleports, which is like really annoying, but whatever. You have to chase him through the sewers. I think it's just all the way down from what I remember, because there is definitely a part with the sewers at the end of this quest, so that'll be it. Yeah. Could have just Piercing Cold his dumbass then. Never mind. Could have saved myself some time. Never mind. Not in a merciful mood at the minute, so I'll just kill this guy and then take him out afterwards. Did that drowner die? Yeah, that drowner died. Ah, fuck off. Even without potions, this is easy enough. I'll just pop the Tawny Owl just in case. Instant kill these guys. So good. Now, this is the point of this playthrough. I'm assuming if you're watching this that you may have seen some of the other episodes earlier, but if this is the first one you've somehow stumbled across, the reason this is a low-level playthrough is because Piercing Cold becomes much less effective after the sign resistance of enemies skyrockets later in New Game Plus. So if you were starting it normally, having done both of the expansions or anything, and you were like level 50 plus, Piercing Cold will stop being effective at sort of the low to mid 60s. Because of the way that sign intensity increases, so you can't knock things over with Aard, and you can't make use of the insta-kill as much. And because the actual sign resistance gets so high that the damage, the direct damage that gets reduced by the sign resistance of enemies, also just makes piercing cold much less worthwhile. So it just basically becomes similar to regular Aard, where you're just stunning things, which can be very useful, but you know, they're not worth using your mutation on, and you could use something yeah, sorry, just making that choice there. Go away, you're dead. Not in the mood for sparing you today. So yeah, so that's why we're doing it as a lower level playthrough. So we're only level 49 here. We started New Game Plus at level 31. So about as low as I could possibly do it. And then just set up and respec for this build. So yeah, a ton of fun that way. Alright, so I'll take the cards because I want those. And that's that. Now there's some brilliant cards you get from that quest. The Fringilla one is very underwhelming, so sadly I'll not be adding that to my Nilfgaard deck. But the it's not terrible. I mean, it's a regular card and it's 6 strength, so you can, you know, double the strength and things like that. It's good, but I would prefer it if it was you know, a higher base power really before I added it to my deck. So I think I played these guys already. Yeah, I played these guys already at Gwent. So where are we going now? Let me think. Evil soft first touches. No, I don't think so. So get this out of the way. Whilst I've still got the werewolf decoction active. And then before I need to do anything proper, I'll just meditate. Oh, what's this? Oh, is this the random eternal fire guys trying to ambush you? This will go poorly, gentlemen. I would not advise it. Yeah, it is. You're going to take my swords. You're going to take my swords. Ha! Really don't think so. Yeah. So, first things first. Aard, knock him over. Wait for my stamina to regenerate. And now you will die. I can just kill them from a distance, same as always. Got the far-reaching Aard, so it goes a really long way as well. Set that guy burning. And set that guy burning as well. And then he'll be dead soon enough. Deadsies. Oh, this guy's still alive. Not for long. Wrecked. Yeah, over my dead body. Exactly. Really don't think you thought that one through, gentlemen. I played this guy already? I can't remember. There's a bunch of Gwent players that have actually left, but now the problem is I can't remember who I've played and who I've not. Never mind. Who's this guy? We shall see. Never mind. I think we played this guy already. Let's see. On passing by previously. Maybe when we did the Doppler quest. I think we did the Doppler quest and spared him on this one. Now we've no spy cards, but we just got one there, which is brilliant. Fantastic. Not quite sure what good it's going to do him looking at my cards, but you know, never mind. If he's got that card in his deck, he's probably got a pretty poor deck in general, so I'm not that bothered about saving this Scorch card. I'll just use it so I can use Relentless right away. I love Relentless for that, it's ridiculous. Oh, almost passed too early then. I also forgot to take into account the fact that I suck at math. Get rid of that first, I can always win on the next round anyway. I love the Nilfgaard deck for this as well, because you can replay these 10-point cards and then force them to waste cards instead and things like that. As I was just saying about Fringilla, the good thing about that card is that you can always double it up if you need to. So now he's going to play the spy and I will decoy that back, play it whilst I've got the biting frost, which is brilliant. and that 2-card advantage that they've just got there is going to disappear. Now I'm going to lose this round anyway, so it's absolutely no problem for me, and I can just draw that out, which is brilliant. I'll try and make them waste another card actually, because they're still not guaranteed to be winning yet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Villain Tretometh there, because if one of their last 3 cards is a medic, then they will play that spy again, and because I don't have any decoys, I don't want them doing that in round 3. I would rather them do it there. So what have we got? We've got both of these, so we've got all 3 of these, and we've got 2 medics. So there's 2 ways I could do this. I could either try and get them to use their last 2 cards and then just win the last round, which I think is what I'll actually do. And I'll see if I have enough strength to be able to beat them once they've played their last card. If not, we can just see. Yeah, so I'll be able to easily win there. Because these 4 cards in total are 48 strength when they're all together anyway, which is why they're extremely powerful. And then double them all up anyway. Love doing stuff like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd beat that guy already, but never mind. 7 cotton. Wow, how exciting. What happened this time? I think, is it Johnny and Sarah had just left? Get that little cutscene there. This is just to get it out of the quest log. I mean, I get no experience from it because I'm so far ahead of this quest level, but it doesn't really matter. Okie dokie.
Long ago.
Experience from that. Like it matters. What happens if you come back there with Avalak, actually? You know, if you leave it until right at the end? Never mind. Okay, so we'll just do now or never. And there's Zoltan wandering around. Looking a bit lost, to be honest, but never mind. So we'll just go through now or never as well. I just like doing now or never. It's a really good quest to do. It's a really, really good quest to do when you're in Nilfgaard, not just for the whole Trish storyline and things like that, but mainly because you get like a ton of recipes and things. There are a load of stuff down there, so yeah, that's really good as well. Let's just go. Yeah. Anyway, so we're just going to run through, and then depending on how long this takes, you know, we'll do that. Yeah. Nope, gotta go. Just makes the quest longer, and I just can't be bothered with that anyway, so. The alternate costume for Trish is kind of cool, so like I just have it on at the minute, but like it doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you think about it, then that hood being up, oh dear. Right, let's get this stuff going. Might as well delayed recovery up. Okay, so that's everything active all the time again. Go away. I love this because it's like you can kill people from such a massive distance. It's ridiculous. And they like can't even get up. And there's always the chance they get insta-killed as well. Oh, he's trapped. How bizarre. Well, that's them dead. Same as pretty much everybody else in this playthrough.
No, didn't think we'd have to take that route. To think a year ago, guardsmen bowed to mages they passed in the street. Now we have to flee.
Yeah.
Rats.
You could stay. You'd manage it somehow.
We can't let them see us.
Yeah, we can. Just let me go and piss and cold their ass. Never mind. Right, fine. I'll hide. Just for the record, they would totally die. I don't think we really have any combat for a little while.
They're gone.
So it's not really a big deal. See, delayed recovery is weird in some respects. Like, you can see that Superior Blizzard is lasting like it should be from delayed recovery there. But for whatever bizarre reason, a lot of the time it drops off. When the other ones don't, like Swallow will stay active and Blizzard doesn't. Well, I can't figure out what the difference is, but
Or we're too.
strange. I would never use delayed recovery normally anyway. I would just be...
Anyone from the silver team ever make it?
I would normally just be using the sort of, what's the word, lower maintenance skills. Like, delayed recovery is too low maintenance for how good it is. It is still very, very, very good. As you can see on this playthrough, it can be a lot of fun. It's just like, if you're gonna, for it to be like practical or feasible, you really have to be using it with acquired tolerance, otherwise it's too much of a hassle to keep your toxicity up. And if you're going to have to use acquired tolerance to take up an extra slot anyway, you'd be better off, in my opinion, either just using decoctions, which you just need acquired tolerance for, with maybe metabolic control. Or even then you could use skill switching and none of that's an issue. And you don't even have to have the skills slotted. If you watch my OP World Rank tank build video, or my video about toxicity mechanics, you see how skill switching works. So you can either just use decoctions, in which case, like I say, you can either just keep the skills acquired tolerance and metabolic control there, or you can use skill switching so you don't even have to keep them slotted and maximise your ability slots that way. And if you're wanting to use potions, then you're better off using acquired tolerance, heightened tolerance and fast metabolism together, and using the Manticore gear on endgame builds to allow you to use 3 decoctions and then use all of the potions all of the time with fast metabolism, or to at least use the 20-point potions, depending on how much your toxicity is. And if you watch my Deathmarch New Game Plus playthrough, that's what I did for most of that. So I had enough toxicity to use 4 decoctions and the 20-point potions, which is an absolute ton of fun and extremely powerful. So. Right, what's the plan? Ooh, dimeritium ingot. Right.
No need to thank me, really.
Right, so you can see there that Swallow's still active, but Blizzard's fallen off, which is just bizarre. Anyway. I'm just going to use white honey. Most of the enemies down here are drowners, so they're necrophages. So we'll get all these active. And we'll use Superior Blizzard last of all, because sometimes it keeps lasting with delayed recovery and sometimes it doesn't, which is weird. So I'll just top up the toxicity with that when we get into an actual bite, like here. Alright. So instant kill that one. Just such a powerful and fun build. So like when you're doing things normally, all of these you'll have a lot of different diagrams in, and some of them will be for armor and things, which isn't too much of a thing, but some of them are for very useful things, other things as well. What's in here? Relic sword there. Go away. And again, you can kill these things pretty easily. And you can see there that Superior Blizzard is active because I've not long since used it. So even if the delayed recovery aspect of it isn't really plain ball, we've got this bit of it. So ton of stuff to get here. And again, you can see a load of diagrams, all that kind of stuff. Quite useful when you are playing the game normally. Adds up for your acquired tolerance if they're alchemy recipes and stuff like that, which is cool. That library, I think that's the way we have to go eventually. But I need Triss first. Where is she? Seriously, where the hell are you, Triss? Let's go and grab her back. Oh, cured draconic leather. That's interesting. That's always a good one. She's caught us up finally. So the library has a ton of books in that you can grab if you're wanting to sell them and stuff, but can't be bothered with most of them. Snip in the menu and top up my toxicity again.
Triss, found an exit.
Let's go! Where is she? She always seems to get sort of like stuck here, which is weird. This is the advantage of using Aard like it is here. Because you can just use Erden and then go right back to using Aard. And this is the reason that I'm using the Grandmaster Griffin gear as well. So that I can get the 6 set Grandmaster bonus and use that throughout the game, which gives you 100% additional sign intensity, which is extremely powerful, obviously. No wall to break through there, we'll just use the actual this bit. Is this where you have the super rats? It might be where you have the super rats as well. So, I'll have to be careful with that. Might be able to burn them, but this is one of the things you have to watch out for in deathmatch that's really weird, is like the sort of super powerful rats if you've got enemy upscaling on. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. I wonder if you can kill them with piercing cold. Let's see. Yeah, you can. Piercing cold to the rescue, as always. Interesting. So even when they're super rats, you can piercing cold them, hit all around you, and insta kill them as well. That's really funny. I wonder how long it takes her to kill them. That was cool. Normally those rats are like extremely dangerous with enemy upscaling on, but obviously piercing cold and superior blizzard makes short work of them. Quite interesting. Didn't even bother keeping Quen up then. Weird. A lot of florins to grab here, so if you're in need of money, you can do this quest as well. Grab a few of those. Again, just want to top up the yieldy toxicity again. There's a lot of fun bonuses of using delayed recovery to have all the potions active. Like normally I would never really bother going in the menu specifically to apply the... I would never go in the menu specifically to apply superior black blood and do damage to the vampires and things. It's not really worth it because you can kill everything anyway, but with delayed recovery, because you can have all of the potions active all the time, you can just have it as like a little bit of bonus damage. So you'll always have Golden Aureole active, so you don't have to bother applying that separately against enemies that do poisoning damage and things like that. So a few small advantages of using it, but mainly it's just that you know, the pure power that you get from everything. So not really worth picking up all this kind of stuff because it's not like I'm going to make anything else in this playthrough, but you know, always want to be grabbing stuff while you can. Just to force a habit, really. People say OCD far too easily, but it's that sort of compulsion to always do that. What do you mean, well? I'm waiting for you to come over here. Yeah, well, what? Anyway, so grab all this stuff. Couple more diagrams. And you can see that when you do it this way and just keep the acquired tolerance up, you get a ton of potion use per battle, per meditating, because you have like so many of the superior potions and things like that that you can make multiple uses of them. So it only takes you one alkahest to be able to use potions for like an extremely long period of time, which is a extremely good bonus of that as well. But then again, you can do that same kind of thing with decoctions and fast metabolism. So again, not a real advantage, but if you bear in mind that you can use superior white honey to clear off your toxicity instead of just meditating when you want to reset your actual stats, toxicity to use delayed recovery, that's an important way to just, well, not important because you get so much alcohol, but it's a consideration for just maximizing the amount of alcohol you have and just minimizing the amount of times that you have to meditate. So I'll illustrate exactly what I mean here. So I'm just about to go into this fight. At the minute my toxicity is high enough, I've kept it high anyway, but I can just go into the menu and just, you know, reapply these. Now if I had left it a little bit and delayed recovery had worn off because the toxicity had fallen below 70%, I would just use the superior white honey and then use all of these again and just get my toxicity higher again instead of just meditating. So you can make things go a little bit further that way. Now I do have the moon dust bomb ready to go already. Button got a bit stuck there, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to use that just so the catachan shows up. And we've also got Quen up there. So that thing did a fair amount of damage, so I'll just make sure that I keep Quen up as well. But I can just set it burning. I've got magic trap going there as well, which is quite useful, you know, just for stunning it as well. Now Aard might do not much damage to this thing, so I did about 600, but you can see that the actual damage from burn is a little higher. So I'm just going to stick to Igni there instead and just keep Quen up. Stand right in its face, burn it. Easy life. And again,
Luckily,
superior damage.
any source of income. Come on, let's go.
And destroyed the catachan as well. One of the decoctions that people often say they're using is the catachan decoction. And it's really important to know the mechanics of the things that you're using, because a lot of people say, you know, they use the catachan decoction because its description sounds great. It raises your critical hit chance. But if you actually look at it, it's such a minimal amount that it's really not worth using. It's 5% chance of your critical hit damage, and that is really not worth the 70 toxicity compared to, you know, some of the things that you can use instead. There are much better decoctions that I find, and indeed much better ways of raising your critical hit damage if that's what you actually want to do. So, and your critical hit chance. So, really not worth it. Anyway, we've got another fight we've got to do here against some people trying to stop the mages escaping. Guess what we're going to do to them? I'll give you a hint. It sounds like piercing cold. Alright. Let's get through all this stuff. Yes, Triss in the games is a beautiful redhead who we all think is adorable. But is that really Triss? Is it though? Anyway. So, piercing cold to the rescue. Wreck these guys again. Everybody sit down. Get out of my way. I am not in the mood. And again, Superior Blizzard to the rescue. See, now that's weird because Superior Blizzard isn't active, but I'm still getting the slowdown effect from it. So I wonder if maybe that's what's actually happening with delayed recovery. That would make more sense. That it is remaining active, and that's why it's showing up sometimes and not others. I wonder if that's the case. I kind of think it is the case. Anyway, we're going with Triss on this playthrough, so we'll just let you know, Triss leave. But if you wanted to romance her, you'd have to have kissed her, and then you'd have to, you know, tell her don't leave there and things like that. So yeah. Had my reasons, like I'd read the books. Anyway, I actually haven't read the books, I just know what's up. Right. Go through all this stuff. Radovid is the problem, blah 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 blah. Alright. Will you help me? Yes, until you get to the end and we know what choice you're going to try and make, which is a stupid choice, by the way. Anyway. Just going to do that. I don't necessarily have to do Reason of State. I really don't care in this playthrough about, you know, Radovid or anything like that. It's not a canon playthrough. It's not my main one. I've done that already. I was happy with the choices that I did in my main playthrough. What I care about is I want the Gwent card. Yeah, that's what I'm actually doing. Now, just while I've got my... I'm going to test this Superior Blizzard theory. Whilst I've still got everything active. Sit down. So this is the Griffin armor, Grandmaster armor thing, where you can double cast regular signs. And it's so powerful because you just have more and more. You can deal double the damage. You can see there 700 damage, not bad at all. And all three of those guys died to the instant kill chance. Now that's 25%, so it doesn't sound like a lot, but really when you get to cast Aard that quickly and they're on their back so they can't hurt you anyway, you have a lot of opportunity to do a ton of damage and then to have more chances of that insta kill. So very interesting. No point doing Deadly Delights because I'd just spare her anyway on this playthrough, so I'm not going to bother with that. Merry Widow, I already did. I just lost the progress while I tried to sort out the delayed recovery blizzard issue, so I already had those and Jenny of the Woods on the previous playthrough. I will do Mysterious Tracks at some point. Shrieker was the same, I did that in the previous episode but then reloaded the save afterwards. So Mysterious Tracks and Phantom of the Trade Route I'll do at some point. Right now, what I want to be doing is I want to be doing this first. Now, before I do this quest, what I actually want to do is make sure that I... Oh, bandits. What are you here for? This is the fun thing about Magic Trap. Ow! Yeah, stop walking into a sword. Anyway. Get that stuff going again. And this is the crowd control aspect of Igni is extremely important as well. Now we get the slowdown from Blizzard and everything else again. And even though we're taking damage from toxicity because we don't have heightened tolerance, the Superior Swallow health recovery is such a high rate that our net gain will mean that we're constantly healing at a high rate anyway, even without having Ekimara decoction or anything like that active. So I really do like delayed recovery. I just wish it was like a little lower maintenance so that you could use it without acquired tolerance, and then it'd be much more worthwhile. Not doing that closed city quest there. Don't really need to do that right now. Can't be bothered with that. Okay, so where are we going? We're going to see Dijkstra. I want a fast travel point first, because I will actually just fast travel and then go and sort out Roach. Vernon Roach, not Roach the horse. Because this quest that we're going to embark on here involves Tala. One thing I did forget to mention is I said that I would go to Toussaint off stream, and I actually did that. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but if you look at my inventory, I went from having about 16k to 38,000 there. So if you save your stuff for going to Toussaint, it can be really worth it. And that's without even selling things like without even selling things like some of the extra rune stones I've got and things like this. Now I really don't need the iron or the steel or anything like that, so I'll just check that nothing interesting dismantles there, that they don't dismantle into anything like dimeritium ore and stuff like that, and then I'm quite comfortable just getting rid of all these swords and things. Just to get myself some inventory space back. Make a ton of money in New Game Plus just because of how valuable all the random junk that you pick up is and stuff like that. So got rid of most of those. Next time I'm passing by the armourer, I could just run around the corner and sell stuff, but I don't really need to. 70 is not a high weight, so who else have we got? We got these guys over here. This guy gives good prices for things as well, so I'll be able to sell things to him to clear a little more space. And because I chose not to rescue Anise and Berthold in those quests, you'll find that Olivier is still there and he gives reasonable prices for things as well. So we can sell all this junk. I mean, again, if I was playing normally and I had an eye on keeping some things for later in the game, I would dismantle some stuff so I had more hardened leather and things like that, but that's not a focus of this playthrough, so it's not an issue. Alright. Sold everything to him. We're just going to carry on. Great fun. This guy's not normally here. I don't remember this guy. Let's see what he's got.
What have you got?
You can't play Gwent against him. I knew that much already, but he's mostly got silver and things. What kind of prices does he give for stuff? He gives decent prices for things, so might as well sell some stuff to him as well. While we're here. Doesn't buy books and things, so that's alright. So I just made another couple of thousand, cleared a bit more inventory weight. Still got some stuff to sell there, swords and things. I'll sell those next time I run past another armourer or whatever else. That's more than enough inventory weight freed up. Now, where's the Temerian hideout? There we go. Alright. I'll just see if Roach is here still, because until you go and visit Dijkstra, I'm not 100% sure if he's actually there. Let's see. Let me see. Interesting to note. Let's wait for that to load up. I don't know, I'll let you know in a bit. Now, where's Roach? He's over this way if I recall. Is he still here? Let me see. Maybe not. Right, so he might have gone to, what's his face already? Oh, that's annoying. I should have played him before I spoke to Dijkstra. Where is it? Nah, he's with I don't think I'll be able to play him first then, which is kind of annoying. Right. Anyway. That was a waste of a fast travel. I do apologise for that little break there. I thought he would still be there before I spoke to Dijkstra, but he must be in the passive floor already, which is kind of irritating. Never mind. At least we can fast travel right there. Okay, so we're going to take all that kind of stuff out. Okay. So we're just going to wait for this to reload, start this quest. Now if you play Roach before you do Now or Never then, you can get his card and then be able to play Tala straight away to get the Geralt card. Which is the last card I really want for my deck, so it should be alright. Anyway, let's go and talk to these guys with their deadly plot. As you run past the passive floor, by the way, if you're in the regular game and you still need to make stuff, you can grab 4 mandrake roots here. And you can do that every time you run past, so that's pretty good. Already done high stakes, so I don't have to worry about that. Which is why I've been using Relentless for the vast majority of the game. Where are we going? Where am I going? Oh, is it the other side of the passive floor? I can't remember, to be perfectly honest. Where are we going? Ah, yeah, here we go. Very clandestine. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, just got to do all this stuff. Yeah, we'll get rid of him. Don't think you can play Roach while you're here, which is a bit of a shame. Alright. Alright.
Anyone see you come in?
No one apart from Madame Serenity. Thank you for agreeing to do this, Geralt. The sooner you finish, the better.
Yeah, so you can't speak to him yet. Oh, that's annoying. Right, never mind. I'll come back later. As long as you actually do this deadly plot quest, it's fine, because then you can go and speak to Roach afterwards and then go to either Seven Cats Inn or Cunny of the Goose, whichever one Tala goes to. You can go there afterwards, and so I'll just do that first. Tiny bit more fast travelling than I would have liked, but it still won't take very long. Damn. I'll fast travel to the nearest place and then go from there. Let's have a see. Shouldn't be too long. Just be a moment while this loads. I have been giving some thought to what I'll do after this playthrough, because there is one more that I want to do. So I'm going to do a one of my playthrough with my Viper hybrid, which is very, very similar to the Uber build, but instead of completely maxing out the damage and using the absolute best armor in the game, the armor set in the game, which I believe is my perfected armor set, it's using the Viper and the Griffin School techniques instead. So it's a bit more balanced. It relies on Quen, but it has higher stamina regeneration, and it is a really powerful, really fun build. So I'm going to be using that one and just do that as another playthrough, and depending on how it goes, there may be one or two things I do that are slightly different, which you might not expect. So I think that's going to be my last playthrough, of which are 3 for a while anyway. But that's the plan for after this one. I might do something different in that, so either using the Skellige deck the whole way through, which would be fun, or using the monsters or Scoia'tael deck or something like that, just to mix up the Gwent. Anyway, just going to complete this quest, rescue Tala. Should be easy enough. Alright, that's that bit sorted. Now, where am I going here? Just over this way, I think. Redania. Okay, not got this notice board yet. Oh well, we have now. There is a quest here that you can do at very low levels called Woodland Beast, but Dimeritium Ingot. This is another place where you often get Dimeritium Ingots. As I was running past then, I was like, I'm sure you get Dimeritium from here somewhere. But yeah, this is another place good for looting. Don't think there can ever be guards around here stopping you, so pretty free to loot it normally. And we're just going to carry on. Don't always have to loot random stuff, but there are some places where you're sort of more likely to get Dimeritium and things like that, I find, in my playthroughs. So there's certain ones where I'll always just loot them as I'm going through. Not bothered about the rest of this stuff, just got to find out where we're going. Person in distress, might as well take them out just for the crack. Well, not take them out, but rescue them. Take out the people holding them captive. Tank up on everything there. Where is everybody? Oh, have I just used all those potions and they're not going to be there? That's irritating. Ugh. Yeah, there's certain... These guys sometimes only appear after you meditate, like they did just there, so... Right. Let's try that again. Got tons of alcohol, so that bit really doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to worry about conserving it, it's just force of habit, really. Time to die, Chuckles. Knock all these guys back first. Get an insta-kill there, so we get the slowdown again. Now we can just knock down the guys who don't have axes and things like that. Kill him easy enough. Set these guys burning as well. And especially when you've got that double cast, you've got just so many options for killing them and burning with that. A lot of the time you don't even need Aard. It's the thing that keeps Igni much more effective in regular playthroughs or normal sorts of builds, or like Euphoria builds and things. It's much more effective than the other signs. And that's largely because Igni will still burn even if it doesn't do a lot of direct damage, which is very useful. Anyway, got to carry on, find Tala now.
Cart doesn't look damaged. Strange. Need to look around. Might find something.
Believe there's a bunch of wolves most of the time. Yeah, that looks like them. Let's use Aard Sweep first of all, just so I can knock them down, and then
You're gonna make me wait.
take advantage of Piercing Cold and the slowdown. Take those out. And again, just make extremely short work of quick work of those.
Signs of a scuffle. Somebody got knocked out.
Mm.
Where it's where it is. A shoe. Something tells me I'm on the right trail.
Does it, Geralt? Does it really? Let's follow this round. That's a lot of shoes.
What's he doing here?
Ha! Shoes like mushrooms.
Grady.
Now you can kill these trolls, but they're kind of hilarious, so like, I'd rather not. Still don't have a troll mutagen yet because I haven't been killing many of them. It's quite funny.
So,
Anyway,
troll.
gonna go on again. Not that I need to collect this stuff, but might as well while I'm here. Trolls are so hilarious in this game. I absolutely love them. I try not to kill them wherever possible. At least the sentient ones. You don't always get the troll mutagen though. Like, it's a bit of a shame because the level 13 contract, the volunteer, is the easiest way to get the troll mutagen early, and the troll decoction can be extremely useful. But then you have to kill the troll. Although he did eat people, so that one's a bit more debatable, but like a lot of the trolls you try and spare. There are some that you really do want to make sure that you're taking on, like some of the more sort of evil ones who have made some very bad choices. Okay. Grab all this stuff, go help Tala. Where am I going? This way. Just keep everything all topped up. But I won't have a great deal of use for these. I don't think you often get into conflicts on your way back. I think sometimes wolves can attack you, but not always. You can normally avoid them.
I want to look around some.
Oh, what did I miss? There's another chest in there somewhere. Whatever. I'll come back to it later. No big deal. Good jump down there. There's a couple of chests and things you can get, but again, don't really need the stuff, so I'll not bother. Keep these things all topped up. Don't appear to be any enemies about here. Like I say, there are sometimes wolves over there, but I think I'll be alright for the most part. You've only got to escort him back to the van over there, so... Now, I won't be able to play him at Gwent just yet, I don't think, because I've not progressed that Old Pals quest far enough, which is annoying. Never mind. Right, so skip through all this stuff. Right, let's see.
What do you...
Yeah, so I can't play him just yet. That's a bit annoying. Normally, if you got to the point where you can play him in Old Pals, you can play him right there. You don't have to go and find him separately, but never mind. Won't be the end of the world. Not got far to go before we get to a marker, because there's one just up here, obviously. And then I'll go and grab the rest of those. Pretty grim sight. Hangman's Tree, as always. Bunch of wild dogs that I have absolutely no interest in fighting. Right, so hopefully now I'll be able to play Roach. Where is Old Pals? Let's have a look. Now, this is a really good set of quests to do early if you're trying to get the Scoia'tael deck. So, like, if you want to do the Scoia'tael deck on a playthrough, then you try and do the Nilfgaard stuff and get this kind of stuff sorted straight away, because you get most of those. Good cards like Athene, you get Ethne, you get Sathensis here, you get Isinga and Fortana from Dangerous Game. So you get a lot of the good Scoia'tael cards that make the deck a lot better. And you get that from... Hold on 1 minute. Let me concentrate on what I'm doing here. Yeah, so you get a lot of the good Scoia'tael decks cards from doing these ones. The Nilfgaard sort of line of quests, so that's important. Now I've got decoy, 2 medics. I want to use the decoy for when they eventually play that thing back. But right now I can double up on these and still be able to use the Scorch if he plays another one on there. Of course he plays the Northern Realms deck. Scorch those. So he's got that to play one back, which is interesting. Just waiting for him to play that spy card. And then I will take that and play it back. Even though that 14 points is quite substantial, I'd rather get the spy played and then take it with Relentless the next time. Okay, so... And I get Mysterious Elf as well, which is fantastic. So I'll be able to start off the next round by using Relentless to take that from him. Take my spy back. Then I'll play Mysterious Elf, which he can do nothing about, and gets me another 2 cards, so I've got the advantage there again. And then even if he plays both of those medics, they've used both of their medics now, so unless he has decoys, there's nothing that he can do with the Northern Realms deck to be able to play these spies back, which is why it's so fantastic in terms of the Nilfgaard deck having more medics, and I really love that about the Nilfgaard deck, makes it really good. So they've used Impenetrable Fog there. He has only got one. He's only got 1 card left, so I'm going to see what that is, because I'd rather him not have the Northern Realms ability. So he's got 66 there. And I am going to be able to replay the 3 of these and maybe that one. So what have I got? I've got 4 cards that I can replay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't need Dandelion because I can use this instead. So I should win just purely from playing these cards, so I'm just going to do that. There's 1. 2. Again, that pure power of the Nilfgaard deck and how you can control rounds and how you use it is just tons of fun. So we've got all 4 of those. And both young emissaries as well. And it doesn't even matter that this one's taken down to 1 point, because these ones are going to be such high value. So 170 crushed. Same as always. And that gets the Synthesis card, which is a 10-point ranged hero card for the Scoia'tael deck. So yeah, another one. Another good one. Now, I don't have to play Tala just yet, but I will do because I want to play him as soon as possible. I don't have to play Lambert just yet either, and I really don't want to play Lambert because he gives the Triss card, which is a pretty poor card. Because whilst Yennefer has the amazing 7 strength hero card with medic ability, Triss is just a 7 strength hero card, which isn't that good at all. The only advantage is it's a hero, so it's not susceptible to weather, but most hero cards are 10 and Triss's is only 7, and she has no ability, you know, any bonus ability, so I would have preferred for that to have been like a morale card or something for Triss, and that would have made it at least a bit comparable, but as it is, pretty mediocre card. Never really used Triss in an endgame deck. Not really a good idea. So yeah, this is what I was meaning. It's the 7-2. I think I played this in Keep already, but I'm not 100% sure to be honest. So let's have a look. Because as I said, I did leave a lot of people till later when I had the full Nilfgaard deck. So I didn't pay attention to whether the actual writing was greyed out there or anything. So I've got these ones. Got Mysterious Elf there, which is great. That wasn't the best trade ever, but let's see. There's always a chance that I either get a spy here or that the Northern Realms deck plays spies of its own, so we'll see. But again, I can put those decoys to good use with this card anyway, if needed. And that's what we really want. And this will actually not go in their favour at all. Again, this is the power of these medics and decoys that make their Nilfgaard deck so good. Now, he's probably not got a Scorch card because she would have used it there if she did have. So should be fairly safe to do this. And then because they've not taken that other card back, the Tala card, I'll be able to Relentless that in the next round as well, which is ridiculously good. Let's see what we get here. So they do actually get a decoy there. But I'll be able to take some score from them as well. Might as well use this card because it's nothing special. This is why I always have the 1 Scorch in the deck as well, because if you don't have a Torrential Rain when you are playing against the what's it called? The Northern Realms deck, you want to make sure that you can Scorch their cards if needed. So there are 2 ways I could do about this. Now if I do that, that's going to add 18 score. Because it's going to double that one. Yeah, that should be alright. There we go. So now they didn't play the Tala card there again. So let's just see how this is going to play out. Now I'm actually just going to Relentless this card instead. Because I can probably do this without any problems at all, because I'll be able to do that. Then I'll be able to decoy the Tala card, which is what we wanted. And because I won that first round, I'll just be able to bleed them out of cards here. Depends on what cards I get from this draw, but I should be absolutely fine here. Right, so There's a bunch of ways I can go about this, but it depends on what their cards are, so I'm just going to play these first. Yeah, so again, there are a multitude of ways I could have played that round, but this one will be a very easy one anyway. So now I have 4 cards that I can replay, so I mean, I pretty much won it anyway, but I can play all 4 of these, which is always fun. I just like seeing the massive scores that you get after you do this kind of thing, which is always fun. And again, you can consistently get, like, as you can see in most of the games on this playthrough, you can consistently get 3 or 4 of the Imperial Brigade cards, and also often get the 2 young emissaries, so you've got a lot of chance of getting very high scores. They get absolutely wiped out as well. I don't think I have played her before. Not really sure. Oh yeah, we have. And then get the Geralt card, and then I think that's probably where we wrap it up. Can't remember what deck he plays, but we'll have a see. As he plays Scoia'tael. Quite an interesting one. What have we got? Only 1 Imperial Brigade. No spies there, which is a bit of a shame. But again, if you don't get the spies, then you end up getting a ton of medics and stuff like that, and so you can just bleed them out of cards and the regular stuff. We'll see what happens here. It's going to waste a couple of their cards again. Okay, so we win that one. Take one of their cards as well. And because I have the Syria Hero card here, I can see if they play another 6 strengths before I scorch that one. Or indeed, I can just make sure that we just leave Milva like that. Get rid of Milva there. So they've played that Aethne card. Let's see what their last 2 are. So I can take Willem Tretemeth back there, and they've only got 1 card left, so they shouldn't be able to beat me here. So I win now anyway, because when we go to the last round I win on a tie, so even if I lost this one. So I've got 10 strength there. Take 9 strength from them. Play this. And play the last 10 there as well. So there are always tactics you can use. And even if I'd have lost that round, because they'd used up all their cards and Nilfgaard wins ties, if the last round ends 0-0, then I win anyway. So, yeah. Sweet. And that gets us Geralt of Rivia. I've not got my other deck set up, but I can just add these cards anyway, just, you know. Always good to have stuff when you can. So, that is pretty much the completed Nilfgaard deck. Little over 22 cards, but then again, you have such a high chance of getting Spies and Relentless with the 4 Spy cards, and then the 3 that you can use Relentless on as well. And then taking them from other decks as well, like if you're playing Northern Realms or Nilfgaard, they have Spies themselves that you can often take, and then Relentless one back. That you want a few more cards than the sort of minimum range with the Nilfgaard deck. So that is pretty fantastic Nilfgaard deck. Yeah, you can also, I usually use it with like another Commander's Horn or another Scorch or something like that, and occasionally have a few more cards in it, and it still balances out. You still pretty much always win on balance. And in case you've been paying any attention, I've lost exactly 0 games in this playthrough, because the Nilfgaard deck is pretty much the best deck, or at least tied with the Northern Realms in terms of how effective they are. So, and there's Tyler's little shoe emporium, mobile shoe emporium there. And now we just have to finish Old Pals by playing Lambert, which you can do either in following the thread or when you get to Kaer Morhen. So there's that to do as well. Now, I did say that this was going to be a very slightly shorter episode, and so I think that's probably where I'm going to call it for now. So if you have been watching, then thank you very, very much. I appreciate it as always. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And have a good day on the path.